a consensual encounter involving some extremely kinky fetishes that turned deadly. Prosecutors say a 31-year-old mother who advertised fetish sessions online wrapped her client, Michael, in plastic and duct tape, filming every moment until he stopped breathing. What she claimed was a consensual fantasy investigators call cold-blooded murder. And this fatal fetish was really a business transaction, right? You've got a customer, Michael Dale, who gets in contact with a woman who he wants to engage in certain behavior with. All right, Diane, let's talk about consent. Maybe not consent to end a life, but he's talking about consenting to gluing his eyes shut, the last person he'll ever see. The issue about consenting to the plastic bag that has holes in it, to me, is a huge deal. What if she gets up on the witness stand and talks about all of that stuff and says, yeah, this is what he wanted, this is what we talked about?
Well, I think, as your earlier guest mentioned, that agreeing to engage in this kind of conduct, pouring Gorilla Glue in somebody's eyes, is quite extreme, obviously very, very outrageous behavior. And anybody who would agree to this, I don't understand why she would agree to this, unless this was a pretense where she was saying, sure, I'll agree to it, but then she had no intention of doing it. But the question of the plastic bag, I think, is sort of a red herring, because he asked her to put a dildo down his throat and glue his mouth shut. And that is essentially asking somebody to suffocate you. But again, I agree that you cannot consent to murder. So if somebody were terminally ill, for instance, and they asked their spouse to give them a fatal dose of barbiturates, that spouse is going to be convicted of murder, whether the person consented to it or not. So this is a very interesting, twisting and turning fact pattern.
Will there be a detailed voir dire of jurors about their own conduct, or is that going to be off limits, you think?
Everything is on the table here, and I think that there is going to be a lot of sidebar or chambers discussions with potential jurors about any kind of sexual proclivities that they may have.
Yeah, that's taking your civic duty to another level. The question, though, that I have for this jury is, will they be able to look past the kink and focus on what every jury has to focus on in a criminal case, which are the facts, the law, and specifically the simple elements of the crime?